Alright, what we have here are a couple of mini arcade machines. They're 15 inches tall or 39 centimeters, and there's two different types, and I'm thinking of making these to sell on Etsy, but I've got no idea whatsoever on the value, and I'd like people's comments whether they are saleable, whether there's a market, and etc. But the one on the left here, I'll show these powered up shortly. The one on the left here has the lit up marquee at the top, lit up coin door area, and it has a simple playfield, I don't know if you can see it, of a Galaxian scene that's lit up with a kind of sparkly effect behind. The one on the right, however, has got a Raspberry Pi inside it. It runs Raspbian, arcade emulation is then possible, and I've got several of the classic games that are on there. So that would be the one I'd like to make, and probably would actually be worth more money, but I've got to put like about $70 or $80 into the thing, as it were, to make money back from it, and I haven't got that money, so I may end up selling this type on the left instead. Okay, well, here are both machines running now, and on the left here you can see the coin doors lit up. I've got the marquee, and I've also got the rather nice effect, I think, of Galaxian playfield, which I know people say it a lot, but it does look better in real life than on the camera. So on to the other one. We've got the marquee at the moment. I haven't put the lights in the coin door yet, but this one's running Scramble at the moment, and it'll play any of the older games, any of the classics. People always say, oh well, you need the original ROMs, don't you? And I was thinking about this, and I thought, well, it's all a bit moot in my case, because well, we're running Scramble there, and over here, put the light on, is a Scramble board. So you know, I'm thinking in those terms as well, that if somebody really wanted, say, a Donkey Kong, I could do a Donkey Kong cabinet and also sell the original Donkey Kong game, not just the ROMs, but the whole actual circuit board. I've got boxes of them. I've got things like there's a centipede. You can actually see centipede written on there. What else have we got? We've got Frogger there. We've got Pac-Man. We've got all sorts of stuff. Arkanoid, whatever. So that actually might be an idea, and make these things a little bit more interesting as well. They would play the games that are on the circuit boards. Anyway, next go around the back of these, and I'll show how they're constructed as the last part of the video. Okay, let's have a look inside, and I will make this quick because I don't even know if there's any interest. But oh, first of all, the graphics, the side art and the front art and such, I've got gel around them to make sure that they never come away, and it has worked well in the past on other projects. So also we've got things like changes to the artwork. Got a kind of a clouds thing going on here. I've changed Galaxian to Galaxane, and also changed the artwork at the bottom there. Okay, also has to be remembered that these are handmade, so I haven't got a CNC or a 3D printer and such, but relatively clean, I hope you'll agree, on the back there. Next thing is I'll pop the back door off and we can have a look actually inside. Okay, and it's quite easy to do so. Just go in through the front, pop the back out like that. The top will lift up because it's on a couple of pins that allow it to hinge slightly. Now comes the back door. Now turn it around, and all's quite clean in there. We've got the distribution part there for the LEDs. The wiring runs up the side like a proper arcade cab. It goes to a connector here, which has got LEDs on it, and they're what are doing the actual effect on the front. Got a piece of sort of like a thin plexi stuff that came from a laptop screen that goes in front, and that gives a nice display effect as well. So all very simple in there really, and quite clean. So that's that one. Okay, and here's inside the other one, and this one's a little bit more like an actual arcade machine, in that on the real Galaxian cabinet the power wire comes in, goes through a hole in the middle of the bottom section, which this one does, then to the transformer and power distribution, which sits in the middle at the bottom, which this one does. There's a small fan on there to keep everything cool, and the boards sit on the side of a real cabinet, which they do on this one. And you can see where the Raspberry Pi is here. You can see the rails such that it can be pulled forwards and backwards to go in and out of the machine. I've also got a heatsink on the processor just because the thing is enclosed and there might not be air movement. So also we've got the wire that goes up to the top. There's a 3-watt amplifier and a speaker at the top there. So there we are, that's the insides of these. Oh, and just a note about how long such a thing will be expected to last. Well, these are tiny little versions. They were intended for charging cell phones, but everyone wants a smartphone, so there's no use for them. And some of them still got these cell phones in them. This one's got, this Defender's got LEDs in it, and some have got different other circuit boards. The Space Invader actually plays with a little watch type circuit. But yeah, if we look at the, say, this Galaxian here, and put it next to the somewhat larger versions, after 8 to 9 years, this thing, T-mold's still on it, graphics are still on it, side art, nothing's falling off. So there we go. Alright, I'd like to hear what you think, and thanks for watching.